Hello, do-it-yourself world. So I picked up this for a 2000 Dodge. Yeah, so why am I buying whole? Because it's not $70,000. I look at like a basic truck, gas engine, 70 grand. There ain't no way. So I can work on these. I've spent years as a mechanic. I weld. I fix stuff. I do all kinds of stuff. So I felt that I could spend money on this, resurrect it, and still have 40 grand in my pocket. Not paying a bank, not paying a dealership, not having to worry about the truck falling apart because of shoddy manufacturing, engines blowing up after a couple thousand miles. You know, all the standard quality we get nowadays for our dollar. So I got all of this, that, and I got the upgrade for the track bar conversion to make it stronger. And so I'm not going to hold this with one hand and try and buzz stuff off for you, so I'm just going to give you a walkthrough. So I got to do all this for the conversion, but all this is in the way. So what I'm going to do is I got these soaking with WD-40. They're 22 millimeter maybe, and so you're going to get that off, and then you're going to come over here, and then you got another one that you're going to take off right there. You can take a hammer and hit. Let me go over to the other side where it's got light. Which you can take a BFH and hit right here, and it's just a conical seat, and you hit right there and it'll pop. I'm in the South, and this is from the South, so we don't have all the Yankee goodies of salt and grime and grit and good, you know, all that stuff. I'm sorry for y'all. I actually grew up there, and I know everything needs a torch or a hammer or something. So yeah, I get that. That's why I'm here. But you're going to take off both of these, and you can hit that with a hammer. You might have to put a pickle fork in there and whack at it. All these are getting replaced, so I'm not worried about damaging them. But you hit that and it'll pop. You can leave the nut on it a little bit up at the top so it don't fall out, or just take the nut off. So once I get that hanging down, I'm going to come over here and I'll take this nut off and do the same thing. I'll get that out, and like again, I'm not using this back, so if I have to, I'll just beat the crap out of that with a hammer and knock it out, and that'll get this whole assembly off here and blinding you with the light. But that'll get your whole assembly off there for that. And once you got that off, I'm going to come in here and trying to get in here so I don't, there we go. I'll get that nut off, and that's for the track bar. And then I'll get that out of the way. And then you got one more over here to get the track bar off completely. And I'm going to get all that off, and then get rid of the shock. I got a Fox shock that came with the Synergy when I bought it. So I'm going to get rid of all that stuff, and then I'm going to come in here and I'll put this back on, my lower, I'll put this one back on it, and put them up there and snug up the nuts on it, and hold my wheels straight. And then I'll jack this up and get this tire off, because I'm thinking I'm going to have to get over here on this side to do some, and I'm getting the light all in the way. I'm going to have to get over on this side and do some finagling, I believe, for the new upgraded track bar mount. And I think you got to drill holes or something like that in there. I'll put a video up as I go along with this. But I got to get the tire out of the way first. But I want to get this lower on, the new one put on first, and then maybe I'll put this back on here too, if it doesn't interfere with the, I don't know if I'll do that or not. We'll see when I get there. But yeah, and good old Cummins marking her territory, right? Oil. But yeah, that's what you got to do. And you'll have to wrench these off, most likely. You're not going to get a socket in there, so you have to wrench them off and get them off. But we're going to get started on that. When I get everything off, I'll show you where I'm at. And this is probably going to be multiple part videos, unless I figure out how to edit everything. But we will continue.